All right, hello everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's an upper body day. Today we're focusing on our upper body strength and our conditioning. We're going to have a nice sweaty cardio circuit that is going to finish us off today. Starting off with a warm-up, we will not need any equipment as per usual, just the best piece of equipment, aka our bodies. For the exercises themselves though, I will be using that chair right there. Tucked underneath, I have my 8-pound dumbbells, my loop bands, the usual. Bring out your TRXs if you do have them, if they're not set up, if you would like to use them today. We will be doing lots of rowing exercises. The other thing that you can use are your anchored bands. Handles, no handles. You can attach that to something in your home and use it for some of these movements. Okay, so let's get you started with the warm-up. Again, no equipment involved, just your body. We're going to start off sticking out our arms to the sides, drawing these small circles going in one direction, counting out 10 circles going one way, palms facing down. Once you're done 10, we'll stop and we'll do 10 in the other direction, keeping those palms down. After we have completed 10 both ways, we will now start going the first way we went, but trying to make these circles as big as they can go. So we'll circle through whatever range of motion we have at this time in our lives, at this hour of the day, going through 10 backwards. Maybe as we go through these circles, you'll be able to get bigger through that range. So we'll go through 10, and then we shall stop. And just like we did with the small ones, we will go the other way through 10 more of these nice big rotations, not worrying so much about what's happening with our hands, just keeping our arms straight, and again, circling as big as we can go. You might feel a little snap, crack, or pop tends to happen, especially in the shoulders. Sometimes that's just air pockets releasing as we go through these ranges. So once you're done that, you can relax your arms down to the sides. We'll roll out our shoulders a few times backwards, so loosen up everything in our upper back. A few times forwards, going through again, nice big circles, keeping those hands reaching down to the floor. Next one is going to be wrist circles. And we can go through, again, 2 to 3 each way, each rotation, each direction, I should say. And as we do this one, we will slowly bring our way down onto the floor, where the next one, our thread the needle, is going to happen. So we want to get ourselves into this all 4 position, hands and the knees, shoulders stacked over top of the wrists, hips stacked over top of the knees. We're going to take one hand, reach it through. Following that hand with your eyes, we will open up and try to look at the ceiling right above ourselves. Closing that off, inhaling, and then we'll exhale and open her up. Again, trying to see if we can look right above ourselves. Okay, not the ceiling over there. I'm talking the one right above. And again, this one you might have to kind of ease into it through all 10 of your reps that you are doing on each side. We are going to do 10 on each side, and you might be a bit tight to start. But as you go through those 10, as you use that exhale to open, you might just be able to eventually see that ceiling that I was talking about. So we'll get that going on both sides, 10 and 10. Trying to limit the movement in the hips, the legs, because we know by now, we've done this one, this is not our first time doing this one, that we are trying to loosen up the upper back and the mid back. Once we're done, don't go anywhere. The next one we're going to do is all about that upper and mid back as well. We're going to bring our shoulder blades together and then spread them apart. Starting off on the knees, seeing if we can master this shoulder blade retraction and protraction. So retraction is us trying to pull our shoulder blades together. The protraction is us trying to spread the shoulder blades apart. Once you have that, we'll pop off our knees and see if we can get 10 reps total. Now, if you lose that shoulder blade together apart situation, you start bending your elbows or other weird stuff starts happening, we'll just come back down onto the knees and go through 10 down here. And eventually you'll be able to do this off the knees, but for some of us, this one can be a little bit weird, and that is more important than being off the knees. So we'll go through 10, and then we are going to stand back up to the top. You can go through some of these arm swings. We'll go over and under, just swing out our arms going through these ones. There we go. Okay. And then as we go through about 10 of those arm swings, we will relax our arms, grab some water if we would like, and we are going to get you started on our first exercise. All right, and we got Bobby hopping in here. Awesome, come on in, Bobby. Whoop, whoop. All right, so we're starting off with our first exercise. Now, Bobby's just hopping in here because life happens. You can start off with just some of these arm swings, get those, you already know what's up. And we are going to start off with our first 2 exercises. Now, today we are focusing on our typical focus on our Tuesday upper body sessions. Push-ups are on the menu, and we are going to get them done, all of them, right away at the beginning of the session, which is good news because push-ups are hard, but they are also important that we do them to get better at them. So what we're going to be working on today is doing as many reps as we can in 60 seconds, okay? So you will have 60 full seconds down on the floor to push up, okay? You can stay doing push-ups for a full minute. You can do as many as you can and then pop down onto your knees, get back up. Okay, we'll talk about all sorts of things, but you will have to do this 3 times total. Before we go into our first set, we are going to warm ourselves up for the push-ups specifically. We've done a lot of other stuff, but we haven't done push-ups themselves, okay? And we're only doing 3 rounds total of this minute-long push-up session, and so we want to ensure that everything is ready to go, and for safety reasons, and that way you can go through your set and not hurt yourselves and be ready. So let's get down here, and we are going to go through a set of 5 to 10 push-ups, okay? So you can get yourself into your push-up position. We're going down to 90 degrees, pushing ourselves up, trying to go through a normal tempo, seeing if you can complete 5. Okay, maybe you want to go up to 10. You don't have to though, okay, so 5 is good for you, then do 5. If you're still working on your push-ups, if you cannot even get 5, okay, we're going to talk all about some different techniques within that minute that will make these more possible for you to do for a minute. So what we have going on today, you can stand up off the floor here. We are going to grab onto our bands. Now, long bands or loop bands are ideal for this first one here, which is going to be a band pull apart. So I have 2 loop bands here. I've just looped them together to create one long band because I'm going to hold it here and pull it across. And this is going to be us for 1 minute after we're done those push-ups. So we have 60 seconds of pushing up. We're going to take 30 full-on seconds of rest. And then we will have 60 seconds of these band pulls. So same idea as the push-ups. Let's go through a quick warm-up set so that our body knows what to expect in these minute-long sets. We're trying to pull that band apart, not allowing the band to go loose, and stopping before we hit our chest, trying to keep the arms straight. Again, you can always use a long band here, a long band like this instead. And if you don't have any band at all, you can get yourself bent over position, thumbs up, and go through these ones instead, okay? All right, so let's do this, okay? Because we got some work to do. We got to get it done. I am going to set our timer, which looks to be already set. So what we're going to do is push-ups first. Okay, we're going to get them done first because they are the harder one. So we'll get down onto the floor and get ourselves ready to do these push-ups. Again, we'll be taking 30 full seconds of rest before we go into our band pulls, all right? And maybe it sounds like a lot right now, but it is gonna feel nice in our set. All right, so we are starting in about 5 seconds. So let's get down here, ready to start that first set of push-ups in 3, 2, 1, and let's do it. Okay, so we have 60 seconds down here to do what we can. Now, of course, I want you to see how many full body push-ups you can get. Once you can't do them anymore, you can lower yourself down, use your knees on the way up, and then reset onto your toes. That is an option. Of course, you could just do knee push-ups. Okay, if that's going to keep you moving more efficiently the whole entire time. The other option, the last option, is to find something in your house to elevate your push-up. So this first set is really a test, okay? We're seeing how we feel. I mean, we've done this before, but every day is different, all right? So you have 20 seconds left. Now, if you are, again, feeling like these are absolutely impossible, what I would suggest you do is find something like the back of your couch, your countertop, that you can do that push-up. I've used this couch before here, and then we can do that push-up off of there. It's gonna make it feel a lot more manageable for this minute, which is done in 3, 2, and there it is. So once again, we are taking 30 seconds of rest, which is good news right now after doing those push-ups. So you can grab some water. If you want to swing out, shake out your arms. Okay, we are going to go into now a 60-second set of band pull-aparts. Okay, and that starts in 10 seconds. So again, I have my band here. A couple deep breaths. Straight arms out in front of us. Relax the shoulders, and then we'll pull that band across. Trying to keep the band tight the whole time. So as soon as I go past and I start to touch that band onto my body, I'm actually losing the tension on these muscles, the back of the shoulders, the ones that I'm trying to work when I go through this. So I want to stop like right before I hit my chest, and then I'll stop also before I see this happen. You can check yourself. Okay, if you want to make this a little bit more challenging, you can hold that band a bit closer together. If you want to make it a bit easier, you can hold it further apart. Okay. That's something that you might have to think about because you still have 25 seconds left that you have to go through these band pulls. So remember, the saving grace is that you only have to do this 2 more sets, 3 sets total. Okay, 10 more seconds of these band pulls. And then of course we have the 30 seconds of rest before we go into our second set. And that starts right now. Okay, so we'll put that band down. Resting, thinking about how we feel. Okay, we are going into our second set of those push-ups. So again, a couple deep breaths. You don't have to get down there quite yet. Okay, but do hustle as soon as you hear this beep. It's going to go off in 10 seconds. We will get ready to see if we can do 1 full minute of consecutive pushing up. Here we go. All right, so we'll get down here. Going through that set, trying to use your breath. Exhale, push yourself off the floor. I don't presume this is going to be many of us, but for some of us, this might be getting easy, okay, or maybe easier. Maybe you get to the end of the minute and you feel like you could maybe keep going, okay? And I know that because some of us are really strong, especially at push-ups. And so if you do need to make these more challenging, slow down, okay? You can slow down your lowering phase. Or another really fun way to do these push-ups is adding a pause in at the bottom. So you can go down into that push-up and then hang out down here and then push yourself up. Okay, hopefully I made that look easy, but it is nowhere near easy. But if you want to try it, you can. All right, 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and rest, but not yet. Okay, you have 1 more round. We can do that. Woo. Okay, so we'll take this time right here, then grabbing water, breathing, resting, grabbing onto our band, and we're going to go into our second set of these pull-aparts. Okay, so less than 10 seconds. Let's pick it up. Grab onto that band. 3, 2, 1, and let's go. So we're pulling that band across and trying our best to keep our shoulders relaxed so that we don't lose our neck. It can be very easy in this one to accidentally kind of hunch our shoulders. These muscles want to take over, but we want to relax those shoulders so that way we get this targeting the back of the shoulders. Okay, and those are the ones that help us with the posture, which is always good news. Okay, so we'll try to think about what we're feeling back there. For 30 more seconds, lots of time. So again, that's the nice thing. Well, maybe it's nice, maybe it's not so nice. About the minute-long timer rounds when we're doing these exercises. Again, we're kind of forcing ourselves to do more reps than we normally would do. We can also take a bit more time to focus on that mind-to-muscle connection. So we can think about that right now, what you should be feeling back of the shoulders. 10 more seconds. Very nice. Okay, and time. Okay, so we'll put that band down, take some deep breaths, grab some water. We have 1 more set. All right, and like I said, then the push-ups are done. Okay, there are no sneaky push-ups at the end today. All right, so we are going to try our best to give ourselves all of our effort on this last set. Okay, everything we got, and that starts in 3, 2, 1. And let's go. So this is it, our final round and final set of these push-ups. Whatever you're doing here, we're again trying our best to stay in this push-up position. Even if you have to use your knees, okay, we'll try our best not to. We'll go for that max number that we know we had in the back of our head, okay? You probably did it on your first 2 sets. Let's see if we can do it again. Got this. Okay, breathe through them. Like I said, though, you can also do them and then put your knees down and rest. Okay, get back up, do a couple more. Put the knees down and rest. Do what you got to do, but just try your best to not fully stop for 20 more seconds. Even if you only get like 2 more, I don't care, okay? I just want you to not give up on yourself, on me, on your push-up skills, on your push-up strength. You can do this. You just have to exhale and push yourself off. Use that breath. Last rep. 3, 2, 1, and done those. Yay. So nice. 3 sets. Okay, so we are doing our final round of our pull-aparts. Okay, last set of them. And that starts in 15 seconds. Okay, so again, we'll take this rest, which again feels nice now towards the end. 10 more seconds, and we'll grab onto that band. Deep breath. Last set. 3, 2, and let's go. Okay, this is it, the final set, final round of these parts. Put a posture, back to the shoulders. Awesome. Okay. So breathing through these ones. That burning sensation that you are feeling in your shoulders, in the back of your shoulders, the tops of your shoulders, that is the kind of burn that you can work through, okay? That building up burn, the one that gets worse and worse every single rep, which you're probably feeling right now. So you have 20 more seconds, okay? That is the goal here. So hopefully you are feeling that. Now we'll think about it a little bit more as we approach the end of our last set in less than 10 seconds, okay? And then we are done this part in 3, 2, 1, and put it down. Do not slingshot it away quite yet because we will need the band for the next part. But you can be finished for this part. Grab yourself some water, shake it out, okay, walk it off. We are moving on to part 2 of the strength, all right? And it is all about the back muscles. So we're going to be going into a superset combining 2 back exercises. I'm going to be incorporating my chair for this first one here, which is going to be a 1-arm row. So I'm going to set up this chair sideways like this, and then I'll bring my dumbbells here like this. I will also show you the option of the band, or explain the banded option. This is one that our TRXs can be used for. If you do have the TRX, we are going to be doing a 1-arm row, so you can set that guy up. Of course, I do not have that, so I'm going to use this chair. Knee, hand on the chair, giving me that support for my core. If you don't have a chair, what you can do is go here, put your hand on your knee. So again, you're getting that additional support here, because we are going to be going through a 1-arm row, no rotation. I'm just pulling in, pulling that shoulder back, trying to go through 12 reps per side, okay? So shoulders coming behind the ear, 90 degrees. I know I'm wearing kind of dark colors here, but 90 degrees at the arm. And we're trying to think about these big back muscles that run down the sides of our back, squeezing those every single rep, okay? Pulling our belly button in, going through 12, and then we'll switch, and you can do 12 on the other side. Okay, so you can join me here on this one if you have not started already. And you'll note that I have both of my dumbbells stacked one on top of the other, because your back muscles, they're really strong, okay? And these are 8 pounds each, and I can row 16 pounds, no problem. If my weights were too light, I can add a pause. Okay, we can hold it in and go through your set. So we'll go through 12 and 12, woo, for the back. All right, so as you are coming to an end on this one, we are going to pair this one with a wide grip bent over row. So we have rows on rows, back muscles on back muscles, okay? So once you're finished this, we're going right into this second exercise. What I'm going to do is use my 2 dumbbells, now holding them here like this, and I'm going to get myself into this bent over hip hinge position where I push my hips back, holding the weights here, and then I'm pulling them up, in, and into the A position, kind of similar to where my push-up position is. And then we go down, and then I go up, and we're completing 15 reps of these bent over rows. Now, because I'm bent over like this, and I do not have my arms supporting me, we have more involvement of our low back, which is the focus, which is part of the exercise here. But we also want to activate our core by pulling on our belly button and kind of bracing our core as we go through this set so that we don't get too much stress down here, and we keep, again, that work on our upper back. So we'll complete 15, and then once you are finished, we shall take some rest, okay, which by the end of that set, you're probably going to feel like you need, because we just did back on back. We did 2 of the same focused exercises, okay? Both of them were focused on those big back muscles. So we'll take about 30 to 45 seconds of rest, grab some water, okay, check it out. And then when you're feeling ready, okay, we'll go into our second set. We have 4 rounds total, so you just did your first one. We will complete 3 more, and then we are done this part. Okay, so back to the first one, your rows. Now, if you don't have the dumbbells, you can use your band here like this, around opposite foot, and then we are pulling in, and not rotating that arm. We're keeping it in narrow, but we want to be pulling so that our arm's not touching our body. So as I pull in, I'm pulling slightly in and around my rib cage, just so that I don't rub my ribs with my arm. Okay, so that's going to allow us to, again, feel this a little bit more and not use your arm so much, because that's not the muscle that should be doing the work here. It is this one back here. For the back, for the posture, all the things. All right, so second round, and we have 12 and 12. So we'll go through our second set. Oh, yes. Okay. Now, for those of you who do not have dumbbells, if you're working with that bent over row, then we have lots of other options. If you have a TRX, we can do a 2-arm TRX row to superset that 1-arm row. If you have a long band that you can attach to something, you can stand here and work with either of those rows as well with that anchor band. And then, of course, if you only have loop bands, what you can do is, I showed you the 1-arm row there. And then for 2 arms, you can either hold it in your hands or loop it around your wrists right here, and then go through your set of bent over rows. Okay, 15 of them, burn them backs, and then again, we'll take a little bit of rest. And we have 2 more sets. 2 more sets. All right. So again, water, thinking about the back muscles. Going into our third set, we'll try our best to keep this rest under a minute. And that is just for the sake of having enough time to complete all of our other exercises. And of course, that nice circuit that we have at the end. So we'll get started here on our third round. And back into these rows. So again, if you don't have that chair, that bench, same setup with soft knees, hips back. We'll take this hand. This is important, okay, because we're combining 1 arm with a 2-arm bent over. And so we really want to make sure that 1 arm, we're again taking some of that stress off here. This hand on here is making your core have to do way less work. Okay, so that's important that we have that. The other way you can do it is finding like something like your wall or a bookcase or something to put your hand on like this or like this. Okay, you can do that with the band or with the dumbbell. If you do not have a chair or a bench or something like that, which you can use. All right, third round. Let's do it up. Third set. Upper body. Okay, so again, back into our bent over 2-arm rows. We're trying to really lead the way with pulling our shoulder blades together. Just like we did in the warm-up, we had our arms extended, we pulled the shoulders apart, spread them apart, pull them together. That's what we want to do here. in this row, we want to think about having that scapular retraction, that shoulder blade squeeze happen as we start to row. So we end up here rather than leaving the shoulders behind, okay? Because we want to get the most out of these exercises. We are not here to waste our time. And we want to make sure we are indeed working our back. And this is not doing it. So we want to really pull those shoulders back at the top. So we'll try to get that going on in our final set, 2 sets. We most likely are finishing up the third. We need one more. Get back up. These ones. Down the rows. Okay, so a couple deep breaths. Hopefully you're feeling good. We have one last set to the rows on rows. And then we've got some other upper body stuff. One last tricep before we do our cardio. Okay, so last final round of our one arm rows. Let's finish it nice and strong. If there's any part of you that feels like you could keep going at the end of that 12, I want you to try to incorporate these pauses in. So hold it in here. Think about pulling that shoulder back actively the entire pause. You can stay here for 1, 2, even 3 seconds every single rep, okay? And by the end of that set, you're gonna need to put those down, and that's how I want you to be feeling, okay? I want you to feel like you could do 15 or you could do 20, right? Sometimes you have to, most of the time, rather, you have to take that into your own hands. I can only make my suggestions. So let's finish strong. 12, 12, whatever you do on the first side, that first ambitious side that you maybe did a little bit more than you want to do, we will mimic that on your second side, okay? So we'll try to keep it as even as possible on that other side for our back. Okay. So final round. And then we have our last set of our rows. Okay, 2 arm and 12 rows. We're looking for that A position. Okay, ending up here, not so much up here, and we're not in where we did that 1 arm row. We want to kind of be flared out here, and yes, that's going to feel more challenging because it is using weaker muscles. Again, we're tapping into those rear delts to the back of your shoulders rather than your lats. So you will feel that here, but you will also feel it up in there as well. So we'll think about that on our final set, because this is it, my friends. And then once you are finished, I will give you 1 more minute, just under that, to finish up. We are going to move on to the last part of our upper body strength. So you can grab yourself some water, about 60 seconds just under that to finish up this superset. And then don't put your stuff away. We're going to need all those things for our last part, which is a nice tricep. So again, grab yourself some water if you would like. Okay, so, and yeah, so we'll need, again, dumbbells, bands, that chair, that bench, we're going to be using it. Hopefully you're feeling good. So for the last part, we're going to start talking about it. We are going to stick you guys on an AMRAP timer. So that is our acronym for as many rounds as possible in a time cap, which today is going to be 12 minutes. So we're going to spend 12 minutes doing these 3 exercises, okay? The very first one is going to be a dip. So we have options. Dips are ideal, okay? Ideally, I want you to do these dips. We're working with a nice high rep range of 15 reps on these ones, okay? So you can practice a quick set of these if you would like, but you're not on your timer yet, okay? So if you don't do too many of these is what I'm trying to say, because they don't quite count, okay? We're just kind of getting prepared for our set. To make these harder, we can straighten our legs or elevate our legs. To make it easier, we can bend our legs in or do another option, okay? Some of us also don't have a chair, in which case we can turn around and do our wall tricep extension like this, or our dumbbell tricep extension, okay? So that is going to be our very first one. Our second one is going to be a rear delt focused row. So this is all about the back of the shoulders. Some of us might do this in a fly version, okay? But depending on the weight that you have, you also might want to do it in a row version. So if I have a heavier weight, I'll row it in up in this 90-degree, kind of like in this position here, okay? If I have a lighter weight, I'll get it with a straight arm, okay? Kind of like we do that lateral raise. It's gonna be a lot harder to do this than it is to do this, okay? But the thing you have to do is 15 per side. So we're doing 15 over there, and then we'll switch, and we'll do 15 over here. And you can pick either or, all right? I will show you the banded options as we go through our set. Last one is going to be our infamous bicep curl. So what we're going to do is hold 2 weights down by our sides, palms facing our hips, and then I'm going to curl and rotate up to my shoulders like this. And I let them down, and then I curl and rotate. And if you're catching on to the theme here, we have 15 reps of these ones, okay? So I'm gonna press start on this timer. Again, it's not going to beep. It is simply going to be a time cap, 12 minutes of your life to these 3 exercises. And I just pressed start, so let's do it, okay? So you can start with, ideally, the dips. You can come on down here and join me, starting with these ones here, going through 15. Now in these ones, it's important that what we do before we do anything is pull those shoulders back in together. We want to set the shoulders back. That's going to keep you in a much stronger and safer position for your shoulder, okay? Rather than having them kind of roll forward like this, we want to pull them back. So we'll do that on this set, 15 of those ones. Woo! Once you're done 15, we are trying our very best to go through these 3 movements circuit style. So taking little to no rest in between the exercises and the sets. So we'll get going on this second one. Again, I'm just using 1 8-pound dumbbell because that is going to be really challenging, especially if I do this fly style this way here. So this arm is strong out to the side, okay? This one is gonna help me promote my strong core, my still body. This one is the moving arm, and I'm trying to keep the palm facing in, opening up in line with my body. So you can just look to the side for a couple reps. Make sure you're not lifting way up here, okay, because that's using too much energy and probably not the right muscles. So we'll go through again 15. Okay, you can do as many as you can there, Lexi. And then if you need to, you can go into this rowing style instead of the fly to finish off your set. If you're working with bands, same options. Okay, you can either pull out like this, which with this band's a bit too strong, and I might go through this one instead. Okay, so 15. Woo! 15. It's really gonna make you feel all the stuff that we were doing earlier coming on back at you in the back of the shoulders. But you guys know we always are doing more pulling than we are doing pushing. If you didn't know, well then you know now. And that is to counteract all of the forward stuff that we do all day, every day in real life, okay? It's more important that we do more stuff to open up our front and work our back than it is to work our front, okay, and not work our back. So that's why you're finding all these flies and pulls and rows, because they're really important to do. If you didn't know, you know. All right, so let's get through 15 per side. And then we have that final one, the bicep curls. Curls for the girls. Okay, so we're going to start off with, again, our palms facing our hips, standing nice and tall. And then we'll curl and rotate so that our palms face the shoulders. Now, there's a really easy way to make this one harder. If you let those arms sit in front of you like this, rather than allow them to go beside you, it's going to feel a lot harder. Okay, so if we do something like this, rather than here, okay, because this already is challenging, let alone to have to curl like that, okay? Whereas back here, in a more relaxed position. And so just depending on what weight you have, what you want to feel, you can either drive your arms forward or back. If you're working with a band, you don't have to worry about that rotation because we have this band and we're going through that curl and you get that shoulder work that you would get in the rotation because you're pulling the band apart. So you can just do 15 and then think about how good you feel in your entire upper body. You have 8.5 minutes left, so look at us go. okay? That actually goes quite fast when you're doing this stuff. High rep ranges, okay, maybe a little bit of that new movement. We're getting something to think about. So like I said, we will try our very best to take little to no rest. If you need to take any, you can take it right now. Once you're finished your curls, if you want to grab a quick sip of water, but there's no prescribed rest, so we will try our very best to go into our next set of those dippity dips. So we're back to the first one, 15 reps, those bad boys. Okay, we'll try our very best to do the same thing we did on the first set, whether you did the dips or you did the wall triceps. All right, we will do the same thing for our second round. Okay. There it is. Okay, so we're pacing ourselves. 15 of them. So another great way to do this band, this rear delt fly rather, or rear delt pose with a long band, and you can either use it position like this, holding one side. You can also even anchor that side underneath your foot like this, and then pull across like you would use a dumbbell. Okay, and this only really applies for long bands. You can't really do this so well with glute bands. You can also anchor the band underneath something and do that same pull. Okay, kind of like if you've ever used like a cable in a gym. That's kind of what we can compare an anchored band to, because we're sort of pulling away from that anchor point. So that's the options, depending on what you have. Okay, but we'll try to get through our 15 on the second set. There you go. Okay, and again, we are probably again feeling that burning sensation, that fiery burning in our shoulders. That is lactic acid. Okay, that's that feeling that you're feeling. It's a fluid that is released from our muscles and our joints. When we do exercise, especially these higher rep ranges, when we're tapping into that endurance, and especially when we do this 15 rep range. So that is why they burn so much. Okay, so we'll just try to work through the burn. Expect it, look for it, love it, maybe not so much, but that means you are doing a good job. You're doing the right thing if you're feeling that. So we'll get through our second set. You're most likely going to get about 3 to 4 rounds of this, but the goal is to not rush through it. Okay, it actually is going to be probably more challenging if you slow down and do less sets than if you try to just blast through like 5 sets. Okay, go as fast as you can. The next part, you can go as fast as you can, as fast as you want for conditioning. But this part, we're still focusing on this strength. So we want to really keep it normal tempo, 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down, unless you want to make it harder, in which case you can slow down that lowering phase. Okay, so 15. There we go. There we go. Curls for the arms. So we'll get through our second set. And then we will go right into our third. Okay, we have just under 5 minutes, about 4.5. So lots of time / not a lot of time. Again, we will try to get through one more solid set. Okay, you can either just take your sweet time with it and do your last set here. Take a little bit longer on each exercise, or you can go normal tempo, same tempo, and maybe add in one more set of another exercise, or maybe you have 2 more sets in. Maybe you have 4 minutes to do your thing. Back to the first one. The dips, the dips. Do dips ever get easier? Yes, they do. But they typically will feel, just that same kind of burning, challenging feeling. But in time, again, you'll be able to do more reps. And this is the high rep range of dips. I mean, we typically don't do more than 15. Sometimes we have sneaky sets of 20 put in there. But this 15 rep range should be really challenging. Okay, so again, trying to pull those shoulders back. If you're not feeling challenged by this, if you get to the end of the set and you're like, yeah, I could probably do a couple more. I don't want you thinking that. Okay, I want you needing to like pull yourself and like Breathe for a second, okay? So I want you to try to maybe straighten out your legs a bit more. We want to still keep the hips close to the bench and see if we can really go out with a bang on this last set, really challenge ourselves. 15 reps. Woo! Because you got 3 minutes left. Lots of time. Okay. All right. Let's go into our one arm flies, rows, depending on what you're doing. And if you are working with a heavier dumbbell and you're doing this row, you want to make sure that that elbow is being pushed up in line with the shoulder. And we're not tucked in down here. We want to really push that elbow up, and you'll feel a bit more through the back of the shoulder. Very similar to what we would feel in the fly, but again, you might just have too heavy of a weight and you won't be able to fly, and that's okay. Even if you start with the flies and you finish with the rows, okay, this is your last set, but just remember to keep it even. That's the most important part. And you have 2 minutes to do your thing, to even it out, to finish strong. So we'll give you 2 more full-on minutes. So again, we'll finish our set. Maybe we're approaching those curls. Once we're done, and you will have some time left over. I'm not going to stop this clock until it is done. And so you can choose one of these exercises. You can go back and start your dips, whatever you want to do. All right. Here we go. Last couple sets. Put our upper body strength. All right. So we'll go into, again, our final set. Just finishing up. We have 1 minute left. Okay, so again, you can pick an exercise if you want to go back into this one, okay, or do your dips, or you can take extra long to do your curls. You have under a minute, and then we will be done this part and starting the last part, which is nice, short, sweet, spicy conditioning circuit. Okay, so 45 seconds left. Let's do it. I am going to set up our interval timer for the final part. For the last part. There we go. Okay. 20 seconds left, my friends. So again, if you are done, you can grab yourself some water. If you're still finishing up, we'll make sure that we are even, specifically just on that, that single arm exercise. So 10 more seconds. Yay. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and time. And you are done. Okay, so you can grab yourself some water, shake it out. Okay, if you want to finish up that set, that is cool, but you don't have to because the timer is done. And what we're going to do now is finish up with our final exercises. And today there are 2 of them. We're going to be doing them circuit style, working off of this timer, which is good news because you don't have to count, which is always nice. First movement is going to be the longer one. Okay, we're going to do it for 60 seconds. Okay, and this one is, I want to say, a little bit less intense than the second one. So we're going to have this first exercise, which is going to be our 10 by 10 jacks. We're going to complete 10 jumping jacks and then go down and do 10 plank jacks. And then come up and do 10 jumping jacks and then go down and do 10 plank jacks. Of course, I have a low impact option, which I will talk about and explain as we go through this first set. But before we do, we're going to be doing that for 1 minute. Okay, so you will spend 60 seconds doing that. For the next 30 seconds, there's going to be no transition time. So we're going 1 minute on, right into our 30 seconds of the next exercise, which is, again, the more intense one, okay, which is going to be down on the floor working with that blast off position, okay, which we're going to talk about when we go down there. So kind of a variation of a plank. Show you before I actually start so you know what I'm talking about. We're down here and we're going back here and then here, okay? Now in this one, We're not doing a push-up before we've added a push-up in. All we're doing is either holding the plank or trying to push our hips back and forward in that 30 seconds. Okay, then once we're done, we're going to get up and work with our jacks. We have 4 sets total, and then we're done. Okay, and we're finished. We can get on with our day, get on with our lives. So what we need for this is space, as you can see. So I'm going to move my dumbbells, my bands, and my chair, although I would use it for sitting on, out of the way. All right, we are going to start this timer in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. All right, so first one, again, we have those jacks. If you're low impact, we're going to tap like this rather than jump. We are doing 10 up here. And then we go down and do 10 down here. Now, this one, you can really make what you want of it, okay? I do the up and the down because it just keeps it a little bit more interesting, takes some more energy to get down, get up. Plank jacks are quite challenging themselves. That being said, you can pretty much do anything that's going to get and keep your heart rate up. You could just do jumping jacks. You could do our seal jacks, okay? Again, low impact, high impact. You could stay down in the plank jacks, although that is probably going to be quite challenging. You have 20 seconds left, okay? To do your thing. Going through as many rounds as you can. 10 more seconds. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Jumping jacks. 3, 2, and we're going down into that plank. Maybe you're already down there. We're going to hold this. Again, push our hips back and then pull them into the plank. So we're trying to keep our butt low and our knees hovering off the floor. You can sit as low back as you can. The further back you go, it's going to be a lot harder. You're going to probably feel a lot more in your legs. Okay, but when in doubt, we'll just hold the plank. Breathing. 3, 2, 1. That was our first set. Okay, so we're going right into our next one. Second round. Like I said, this is a short, it's not so sweet, it's quite spicy, but it's a short circuit day. So we're going right into the second set. No time in between. The goal here is for you to just get that heart rate up, keep it up there this entire time that we're working, and then we'll have lots of time once we're done this work to rest and let that come down, recover, all of those things. Okay, but today there is none of that in between these exercises. Okay, and that is the goal. That's the focus today, is trying to work more of that endurance, not taking as many rest breaks, not so much intervals, more just work. Just go, go, go. And that's why you're feeling this way right now. 10 seconds left. Woohoo! 3, 2, 1, and we'll get down there again. We'll go through our second round of this one here. So we'll try to stay in that plank, strong plank position. You don't have to move back and forth, although I want you to, but if you can't, if you're getting too tired, if you're not going to make it, just stay in that plank, okay, until this timer goes off. Which will in 3, 2, 1. Get up here. Third set. Not so bad, right? We're flying through this. Okay, so let's go. Third round. All the jumping jacks for today, for the week, are all right here. So let's get them done. I know for some of us, jumping jacks can be a little bit tedious, but they are super effective and efficient to get our heart rate up. Like I keep saying, that's the goal here, is that your heart rate is up and you're feeling that cardio system work. 30 seconds left. There we go. Pushing through these. We get a little bit of that sneaky core work on those plank jacks, on that blast off. 15 seconds left. You got this. You only have to do this one more time. Okay. Plank position in 3, 2, 1, and woo! Get down there and start our set of those blast offs. So again, we want to keep ourselves low. We don't want our butt lifting in the air. We want to keep our knees low, but they are hovering. They're never touching the floors. Touching the floor. 15 seconds. You got this. Second last time right here, okay? One more set. We are all done for the day. That last set starts in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. This is it, the final round. Okay, so whatever you're doing, I want all of your energy, all of your intensity moving as fast as you can through these ones, okay? So this is it, your last chance. See how high you can get your heart rate up, okay? And the higher you can get it, the more benefit that you are going to get the rest of the day, okay, from what you're doing right now. But you got to push yourself, okay? Because if you're just kind of doing something that's comfortable, something that's kind of normal, you're not going to get that post-training benefit. So we really want to see if we can get ourselves feeling that uncomfortable, oh my goodness, I need to stop feeling, okay, 20 seconds left in the jacks. And if those don't get her done, those blast-offs might. Okay, let's push ourselves. 10 seconds left. Strong finish. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And last set. Down we go. Final round. Hips back, hips forward. This is it. Woo! Let's do it. Short and sweet and sweaty. Let's go. 10 seconds left. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. All right, nice work. Okay, so we're gonna stand up. Woo, that was just quite intense. Hopefully you feel good. Hopefully we got you going there, but we are done that part. I was not kidding when I said it was short and spicy. Okay, so I've set a 2-minute timer right now, and all I want you to do is rest. Okay, so you can walk around the space that you have, grab yourself some water, ponder your life, think about how good you feel after doing all of that stuff. We are going to leave you with a few stretches today. We're actually going to do a set of 2 of these stretches. Okay, the first one is for our chest and our shoulders. We're going to do one side at a time, but before you do that, okay, before I even start talking about it or explaining it or even think about joining me on it, I want you to feel like you can pull down conversation. Okay, so if you're still feeling really hot and heavy, take a little bit more time. And I set that timer here to give you some time to yourself where you can just rest, because that's important, especially after we do something so intense like that and quite short. Okay, we didn't really have any time to cool down. This is your cool down time. So we'll take that time again to move, because we know our body cools down more efficiently when we're still moving. Drink water, breathe, all the things I normally talk about. When you're feeling ready, like if I asked you what you're doing today, if you can tell me, then you can come on over and join me on a wall, or you can find a door frame. Okay, bookcase, doesn't matter if you want to put your hands on the wall. But we're going to put our hand in line with our body and then turn our body away from that wall, one side at a time. Okay, we're doing one side at a time because we're going to have 3 points in this stretch. You can do 2 if you want to save some time, okay, but one side is going to allow us to get into a bit of a deeper position. So we're holding this here. We're going to spend 30 seconds in this center position here, like this. Breathing into this, inhaling, trying to feel the stretch, exhaling and trying to sink into the stretch. Okay, whether that's turning your body a little bit more. No pain though, okay, so it should just feel tight, no pain involved. Timer's about to go off. Okay, so what we're going to do is stay here for 30. If you joined me when I started, we'll switch into the second point, which is bringing our hand down. So we want to be down on a slight angle, and this is going to allow us to stretch a little bit more through the top of the shoulder. What we'll also do is think about turning our neck away from that side over towards the opposite side, which is going to incorporate this muscle, this trap muscle, and your muscles in your neck into that stretch. And it feels nice. So we'll just breathe and relax. Again, we're not forcing anything. Okay, about 30 seconds. And then we'll straighten out our neck. Last point is going to be up. So I'm going to bring my arm up now, and same turn, you might have to kind of come in a little bit more. This one will feel more through our push-up muscles, our chest muscles, kind of down underneath our armpit. And we'll hold this last point here for about 30 seconds. So by hitting those 1, 2, 3 angles in this chest stretch, shoulder stretch here, we're getting a nice deep stretch in the front, which is eventually going to help us open up our chest and promote that posture, that good posture that I'm always talking about. So we'll do this on the other side. Same thing, spending, again, 30 at the center, 30 at the bottom with that little neck tilt, and then 30 at the top. So yeah, you could do this in a door frame, okay, like I said, but it's a little bit easier to feel that nice deep stretch if you do one side at a time. If you have time, which you probably do because we still have time within our hour together. So we'll take this time to get this nice deep stretch in the front. Okay, so the first one, so then we'll go into that second one, going in low, turning, and then I'll turn my neck away, getting that neck stretch as well. And we'll hold this, breathing. It should not be painful. And then the last one that we're going to do, arm up, turn away, and hold this here. You probably find one side is going to be like a lot tighter or looser than the other, maybe even a little bit. That's quite normal. We'll just, again, work with that tense feeling, okay, not necessarily how far you went in your stretch. We just want to feel the tension on the muscles. Shouldn't be painful, shouldn't feel like they're pulling or anything like that. If that's happening, you're probably stretching a little bit too much. Okay, so we'll relax out of that one. The last one that I would highly suggest you do so much that I will do it with you guys is for your back muscles. Now what I'm going to do is turn around over here and grab onto this bookcase that kind of bends a little bit, but I have tested it so it's not going to break. You can use your TRX, you can use a door handle, you can use back of a chair, something stable that's not going to move. What we're going to do is push our hips back, holding on with one side. I'm going to get a nice stretch on this back muscle, and then I will turn and look underneath that armpit. I can just relax this arm, relax my hips. Don't worry about keeping my back straight. We want to round the back so that we get that stretch all the way from this side here, back all the way into that lower back area. So we'll spend, again, 30 seconds on this side, 30 seconds on the other, trying to turn in and look so I get that feeling of stretching happening in the back here. And this one, again, is going to help us loosen up our whole back, which we worked so much today, so it's important that we do this one. Okay, so 30 seconds over there. And if you joined me at the beginning, you can switch sides, pull back, and then again, turn in on that side, and just sink into it and kind of let gravity do its thing. So again, you might feel a little bit through the back of the legs and your butt as well, back of the hips, residual from yesterday maybe. We'll hold this here. So any other stretches that you would like to do? Maybe you want to go down onto the floor, spend a little bit of time working with something like this. Okay, you are on your own. It's the perfect time to stretch those. If you want to do a couple more sets, a couple more stretches, feel free to do so. But you guys are done with me. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in the Zoom room, Bobby. Whoop, whoop. Hopefully I'll see you soon. And if you did watch the replay, please drop a comment so I know you're here. And hopefully you all feel good and have a great day. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.